What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome back to Peace, Love, Happiness 101. And today we have another phenomenal video for you guys. Just like any big businesses, they always have two things: rules and regulations. But in relationship, we have something that's quite similar to that. We call it boundaries. Boundaries is something that's needed in all relationships. Despite the fact that a lot of people don't think that a relationship needs a mark or a limit, at some point you're gonna come to find out that boundaries is necessary in order for you to have a healthy relationship. So for that, we're gonna talk about 5 boundaries that every relationship needs in order for them to stay healthy. Boundary by definition is not a rule, it's more of a limit. You set a mark on certain things that can be done and can't be done. Because sometimes there are a lot of reasons that people would go overboard just by not paying attention to things. The first boundary that we have is the boundary of past relationships. Just because you are in a relationship with someone does not automatically means that you have to tell them everything that happened in your past. If you choose to keep it to yourself, that's totally normal. But at the same time, if you decided to tell them anything, you have to let them know that you don't want them to keep bringing it back every time you're in the middle of an argument. Because sometimes people do that. You'll tell them something just because you wanted to say it, you felt comfortable at the time. And once you guys are arguing, they'll be the first person to bring that situation back up. So for that, it's necessary to set up some boundaries. You just don't tell anybody. Because at the end of the day, your past relationship is nobody's business. If you choose to say it, if you choose to talk about it, that's you. If you don't, that's also good. So on that note, past relationship boundaries are really important. The second boundary that we have, which is just as important as the first one, is the financial boundary. Financial boundaries are very, very important. It's because when you really think about finance, not everybody understands what it means to balance your finances. Some people think just because they have money in the bank, they automatically need to spend it. That's when you come in a relationship with that person, not knowing exactly what the attitude is when it comes to money, and then they start spending money out of nowhere. And that's why it is not only necessary, but also very important to set up boundaries when it comes to finances. The mindset of being in a relationship with someone is to build, not to break things or not going anywhere. We don't want complete regression. We want progression. And if you really want to move forward in that relationship, it's important that you guys set financial boundaries in a relationship. The third boundary that we have, which is for some reason, I think all the boundaries are important, which is just as important as the 2 boundaries that we just talked about. We all love families, especially when you're coming inside of somebody else's family. You have to do your best for them to love you. But at the same time, not every family are just as welcoming as you would expect them to be. So for that, you have to, at some point, set some family boundaries. Because at the end of the day, your relationship is not with the person's family. Your relationship is with you and the person. From the point that you feel like the relationship is between you, your partner, and their family, you're gonna have to say something about it and definitely, absolutely set up boundaries. Because regardless of what it is, if you don't say anything or set any boundaries, you're probably gonna end up not having a relationship. Or if you decided to stay, that won't be your relationship. It's probably gonna be their relationship. Because at the end of the day, boundaries are important between family and your relationship. The fourth one is also another important one. The fourth one is friendship boundaries. Yes, you met the girl while she was going out with her girls. Yes, you met the girl way after her best friend met her. Yet you met the girl in a time where her friend was still surrounding her and trying to help her out. But you also bringing something to the table that any of her friends weren't capable to bring. So for that, it's always important to set up boundaries between your relationship and any friendship. Just because your boys want to talk bad about your girl doesn't mean that you can stop them. It is your job to tell them, hey, I don't appreciate you talking about my girl like this. Despite the fact that we're not in a good place right now, you are in no term to open your mouth and say anything bad on her behalf. So this is your job as a man. And as the girl, you always have to make your friend understand. They could give you advice, but they are not supposed to be the one telling you exactly what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to run your relationship. Because regardless of what, relationship is between two people, not 75. The fifth and final one. For some reason, people refuse to talk about it because, I don't know, they're a little bit uncomfortable to talk about it. But for me, it's really important. The boundaries that you have to set in the bedroom. The boundaries that you have to set between the sheets. Why do you need to even set boundaries? You have people that are from different families. They have different cultures. You have people that are from different countries. You have people that have different sex drives. You have people that are probably into different kind of things. And you don't want to just engage into something not knowing exactly what's going to happen. So by setting up boundaries in the bedroom, it's definitely going to be a little bit smoother than just going all crazy and then find out things that you didn't expect. So let your partner know exactly what you're into. There's no shame in that. Let your partner know, hey, this is who I am. This is what I like to do. I don't like this. I don't like that. So if you're okay with that, we could either compromise or set a full boundary. Like that, that's going to help you guys understand each other a little bit more. And if it comes to time where you guys decided to try something out of the ordinary, it's also good to go in that route. But before you do anything crazy that's going to leave everybody speechless, you have to set up boundaries. I know that I've been talking to you guys about all kinds of things, and today we've decided to talk about boundaries and everything. But the one lesson is simple. If you love each other, there are a lot of things that you're probably going to understand and trying to work on without setting up a bunch of boundaries. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to have to keep telling people what they're supposed to do on that, because that would be childish. You understand me? So for that, it's always good to talk things out, communicating with each other, let each other know exactly what you're into, what you're not into, how we could fix things by setting up boundaries and compromising. Like that, not only are you going to have a healthy relationship, but also you're going to have a relationship that's as strong as you want it to be. Just by communicating, setting up boundaries, and help each other out. We'd like to thank each and every one of you guys who've been with us from the get-go. We appreciate the love, we appreciate the support, we appreciate all the comments on each post. And for those of you that are just coming in, we welcome you to the channel. Feel free to look around. And don't forget to leave us a subscribe and hit the notification bell, because we have so much more to show you. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Peace.